almost midnight on my birthday. Blessed new moon in Sagittarius. Blessed 1212 portal that'll be going until January 1st, 2024. Um, Blessed Mercury in retrograde. And it's my birthday. I'm 52 today, which is the number 7, and it's also my life path number. So I'm trying to be quiet because, oh, Bubba was sleeping there. She's up. And Alder's sleeping back there. So I don't know if they're going to have me pull any cards right now, but they did have me pull out some decks. All moon related decks. Very interesting. So I believe these are the decks we're going to be using for our next Pika reading. It's been a minute. I really missed you guys. Like, honestly, like, I really genuinely like miss you guys. And so much has been happening. I've actually recorded several videos, like several videos, um, since we moved in uh, 10 days ago now. But they haven't had me post them yet, so I don't know why. And I don't know if I'm meant to talk about some of the things that are going on or not. Um, I actually had a completely different day planned, like so different than what my day turned out to be for my birthday. But it ended up being so magical and so fun. And I'm trying to move, so like I'm like, I don't know if Alder wants to be seen, wants to be on camera sleeping. I've we're off grid, so even though we're in the house, we're off grid unless we have the generator on or the solar, which we're having issues with certain things. And let me tell you something. I have had, if not the best birthday, one of the best birthdays I've ever had in my life. And funny how I really thought it was going to go one way and it went a completely different way. And I ended up having such a magical time with Alder and Bubba. And um, we've been having some setbacks with the cabin that I've been sharing in videos, but they haven't had me post yet. So I don't know if it's something for the future or what's going on. I know I'm being a little cryptic, but it's just because I love to share everything with you guys, but sometimes spirit has me pull back a little bit just because they're either time sensitive or they're other people sensitive, right? It's not just my life, like other people are in my life too. So some people don't like certain things talked about or shared yet. So I try to be respectful of that. Also, I'm not sure what's going on with my hair or whether I'm going to color it or not, but I got to curl my hair today. I was like, I just want to curl my hair for my birthday. I'm like, I just want to feel like me, like the old me, when I used to have curled hair. And it was so funny because I'm so used to not seeing myself like this that it was like a little overwhelming in a lot of different ways. Very, very, very interesting. Um, but it was one of those things that I was like, cool. Also, you probably won't be able to see it here, but um, I don't have gray hair. I have tinsel. And I remember many moons ago when I was with my mom and my aunt, who is now passed, may she rest in peace. Um, they had asked me if I was getting any gray hairs yet or if I'd noticed. And I said, yeah. I go, but it's weird. I go, it's not like hair. It's almost like tinsel. I can't explain it. And they're like, oh, and they both at the same time like turned around and looked at me and looked at each other. And I was like, what? And basically, it's kind of a phenomenon in our family because only my grandmother's sister, my great aunt Joan, uh, had that. So very cool. Anyway, so I was noticing my tinsel because I haven't colored my hair in many, many moons. Um, but it's been really interesting. if somebody told me years ago that I would still be like this at 52, meaning like going to the beat of my own drum, chasing after my dreams, being a wild, child, um, letting my freak flag fly, wearing feathers on my hat backwards because, that's the way it wants to be. I don't know if I would have believed it. But then again, I grew up in a time that was very different to what's happening right now. So, with that being said, I feel like I want to do a little bit of a reading for Mercury retrograde, and I feel like I want to do one for the 1212 portal, like one card for all of us, like a mass reading. And then I feel like I'm going to do a pick a reading with these. So look out for that on my other channel, The Magical Medium. There's a link on this channel. If you haven't been over there yet, make sure you go over there as well and like, subscribe, and share. Thank you so much. I got a year in, like a snapshot from the year from The Magical Medium, and 179 people shared my videos 179 times, I guess, or 100. There were 179 shares last year on The Magical Medium. So it didn't say like my shorts or if it was picker readings or whatever, but thank you so much, because that does really help with the algorithms. It gets more people to the channels that I am hosting for Spirit, to bring more people to the energy and the magic that is on the planet. I've been going through such heavy stuff. I know a lot of you, by the way, thank you so much. So many of you reached out with birthday messages and gifts and just love, lots of love. I felt so much love today. And I was also blessed with this little shorts that came into my orbit. I wanted to reshare it, but it wouldn't let me. But it was this little girl, I think because it was probably for kids or something, but it was this little girl who's an actress. And I don't know if you saw it, but she's so cute. She's British. And she's talking about doing a movie with Mark Ruffalo or something. She's like, oh, I think he's famous. And Mark Ruffalo is really famous. But anyway, it was just really cute. But she was talking about her heart, her little box in her chest that holds her heart, her love chest or something. I don't know, love box. It was the cutest thing ever. I'll have to like write it down, because I feel like that needs to be our mantra for the coming year, because there is so much happening right now. There's so much breaking down of the old and so much ushering in of the new. And I know that my darkness and my demons have been fighting, like, fighting, like hanging onto the door. You know what I mean? Like they don't want to fucking leave. Like they're just like, now. And and I'm like, yes, like you, I'm sorry. Like I love my darkness. I love my shadow. Without it, I would not be who I am. But it cannot rule my mouth or my thoughts. And so that's been a challenge for me, but also it's been really cool. And like I said, I have so much I want to share with you guys, and I promise I will share bit by bit, piece by piece, as they have it unfold. As you can see, we're in the house, or you can kind of see it's dark in here. Um, and we're learning so much, and really falling in love with the house and the property, and the view is just, it's not even about the view itself, it's about the ever changing view in the sky. I said, boy, I feel like I want to have retreats here for painters, because it's just unbelievable. um, if this isn't our home, I don't know what would be, but if it is just temporary, it is really magical, and we're really, really enjoying it. There's some things we're not enjoying, but it's okay. I really think we were meant to live off the grid in the RV, so we can understand how to live off the grid in a much grander scale, like we are now, as we're figuring out what's most cost effective, between generators and solar, and using propane and the well, and the gravity fed water is not what we thought it would be. And it's been causing more like annoyance, you know what I mean? So very interesting. So I don't know, we're learning. And I'll share more about that later. I think we're gonna end up doing some fun videos with stuff like that. Um, but anyway, in the meantime, let's see. Do we want to ask any questions from this deck right now? Okay, so no from that one. My eyes went to Moonology. Oh, and I just realized I left my water. That's okay. I don't want to be gone too long because he's got his headphones on, but still, he's trying to sleep. Okay, do we want to pull any? Okay. Um, okay, so for Moonology deck spirit, for the tribe, do we want to ask about the new moon in Sagittarius in this deck? Okay. Do we want to ask about the 1212 portal from this deck? Do we want to take any advice on Mercury and retrograde from this deck? Okay. So let's see what the Moonology deck has for us in terms of some advice that maybe we need to hear right now to navigate through this Mercury retrograde. And this is a mass message for everybody. Like I said, I have a feeling I'm going to do a pick a reading on my other channel. So you might want to go over there if you need some more intense messages. And again, I don't know if it's going to be each deck will be Mercury retrograde, you know what I mean? Or I don't know. That's the fun thing. I did realize today that I pulled some cards for myself for my birthday, but I wanted to pull cards. I totally thought this day was going to go so different. I actually wanted to go live for my birthday and like give back to you guys on the magical medium. I was going to go live and do a pick a reading. I thought that would be super fun, or do a live like this where you guys can like jump in, ask questions, you know. Did not go down that way. But I will say this is that the weather has been shit. And I mean shit. It's been horrible, horrible, horrible. This morning I woke up, and not only did I wake up to, we're not in the bedroom yet. It's a long story, but we're sleeping out here for now on the two couches. And I was sleeping on that couch, and on this wall in front of me is a lot of windows. So I wake up, and the sunrise was magical. And I mean magical. I took a little shorts of it, but my husband was so cute because when I woke up, my husband and Bubba, Alder and Bubba, were both looking at me. And it was so cute. Like they were both awake, and he was all snuggled up and she was snuggled up, and I was like, "Hi." And he's like, "Happy birthday." And I was like, "Oh my gosh." It was so magical. And he's like, I took pictures. He's like, "You should have seen it." I'm like, "Why didn't you wake me up?" He's like, "Because you were sleeping." But he's like, really, but he said what was so cool is that I was born at 7:02 a.m. And he said he took pictures then because he's like, he goes, all of a sudden I looked over. We both tend to wake up when it's dark these days. We've been kind of, going with the flow of the energy of, Ra and Lilith. But he said that all of a sudden he just saw like a sliver of pink come up out of like the darkness. He said it was really magical. And then he showed me pictures. And so that in itself was really, really cool. But I had planned to spend this day by myself, and Alder had to work. And then his job got postponed to the weekend because they needed more parts or equipment or something. It was a really big job he was working on. And so we ended up spending the day together, and it actually ended up being so great. And he got me the cutest little present, this little snail. I forget what kind of crystal or stone it was, um, but it was a little snail, and a little quartz crystal, really cute. And it was just really magical. And then he went and I made homemade chili for us, which I did a shorts. If you go check out my shorts in there, I made some chili. And um, and then he went and got some cannabis and got these. He went down the way to the longhouse. We live right by the reservation, and got these favorite spicy chips that we like. And we had that with chili. It was so yummy. And he got two amazing cannabis strains. And one was this one that I used to love a long time ago, something love for Nigeria or something like that. But it's so, so good. I'm like, is that my hair? I keep seeing something there. I think that's my hair. And then the other one was called Star Killer OG. And I've been seeing stars everywhere, threes everywhere, just really, really magical. Oh, yeah, what's today? So 12, 13, 2023. So 2023 is 7. And then 13 is 4, 11, 12, 13, 14. Oh yeah, so today's a 5. All about change and transformation. So I'm working really, really hard on staying in a high vibration, staying in a love vibration, really coming from unconditional love after spending so many years in the dark night of the soul and the shadow. Yeah, and actually, what was really interesting is that a lot of you guys reached out, and some of you I haven't heard from in years, and I was just like, oh my gosh, like it was so, so cool. It was really, really cool. Um, it was such a magical day all the way around. It was just magical. We watched some really awesome movies, and um, yeah, it was a special day all the way around. So, anyway, thanks for letting me share my story. Okay, so for Mercury and retrograde for the tribe. Ooh, interesting. I don't know if you can hear that. But for some of you, I mean, it's really late. In fact, well, let me see what time it is. Oh, it's 23:56, which means it's 4 minutes until midnight. But I mean, technically, my birthday is still, it's like 24 hours, right? So I was born at 7:02 a.m. So technically, it'll still be my birthday in 4 minutes, but that's really cool. I want to see what 69. I feel like that means something. So for some of you, I think that's Cancer too, which is really interesting because I heard from an old friend of mine who's a Cancer. You know who you are. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I have so many messages to return tomorrow. I'm excited. But when I heard that the sirens, I got the vibe. And thank you for the gifts. Did I say that? Sorry, I'm a little tired and stony. But thank you for the gifts, you guys. Thank you so much. And the contributions. It does help so much. We have so much to do on this house, so much to do to bring our dreams together for the spiritual center, the spiritual retreat that we're building here for all of us. But when I hear a siren like that, I take that as this is for some of you. This may even be for one person, but this is an emergency. Like you need this message right now. And maybe it's an emergency for all of us. So, what's some good advice for us, Spirit, to help navigate through this Mercury retrograde as it takes us into the new year of 2024? I mean, honestly, with the year that we've all had, I mean, it's like to end it with like Mercury retrograde, you gotta laugh about it. I mean, it's like Spirit definitely has a sense of humor. Okay, but also it's good because it's helping us to look at things from a different perspective, right? And from a different view. That's what Mercury retrograde does. It brings us back to where, we were at the last Mercury retrograde, but also um, some things that we need to look at again. And for some people, like my husband, he's a triple Gemini. Mercury retrograde's really good for him. He loves Mercury retrograde. Plus, he's a mobile mechanic and he tends to be really busy around this time. It's very interesting. Okay, so interesting. Disseminating moon. Take time to breathe out. I don't know if that's going to make it better or worse. Take time to breathe out. Ah, yeah, stop holding your breath, right? Take time to breathe out. I'm feeling the need to read from the book. I don't always because that's pretty simple and self-explanatory. Also, I'm feeling the vibe to look at the bottom of the deck. Step out of your comfort zone. Step out of your comfort zone. So, in this Mercury retrograde, step out of your comfort zone. Do something you've always wanted to do, but you've been too fucking scared to do it. Let go of fear. Fear is the shadow. Because when we are in light and we are in love for ourselves and others, we don't have any fear of what anybody thinks of us because we love ourselves and we love other people. And we know even if they make fun of us or they put their shadow on us, it has nothing to do with us. It's just something that they're going through, and all we can do is send love back to them. Don't take it personally. So, North Node. So, for some of you, research, and maybe for all of us, but definitely for some of us, research the North Node, what it means, but also look up your natal chart. There are so many free natal charts online, so research it and find out where your North Node is. And if you're somebody who's struggling with like where you're supposed to be, what you're supposed to do. And I feel like this North Node is trying to tell you that's what you're supposed to do. So like say your North Node is in, Aquarius or whatever, then research that and see how the Aquarius energy aligns with maybe something you love to do that you've been too afraid to put out there. You know what I'm saying? I don't know why, but I feel weird having him on there. Also, on the other side, interesting, it says you're very close to achieving your goal. Gibeus Moon. Oh my gosh, you're very close to achieving your goal. So, this is for all of us, right? This is a group reading, this is a mass reading. So, you're really close to achieving your goal. The Gibeus Moon. So, right now, we just had the new moon in Sagittarius yesterday, and in real time, well, now my birthday's officially over. Oh, it's 12:01. That's awesome. Oh, my phone's at 67%. Isn't that great? So it's at 12:01, but I go by military time, so it's 1. So it's new beginnings. Also, 67 is the number 13. Um, but 3 and 1 is a 4, and 4s are about balance. So in order to bring balance back into our lives, we need to focus on what we were brought here to do. If you have found yourself in any of my videos on any of my channels, even if you found yourself from, Bubba's channel, if you guys haven't checked out, go follow. There's links on this channel and the Magical Medium for Bubba's channel. Give her some love, subscribe to her. We've been having fun making her videos. She really like gets into it. Like sometimes she'll have me kind of write it for her, but like she really like choreographs it. She'll tell me what music she wants. She loves Nina Simone and Taylor Swift. She's really funny. Baba's getting really, really funny in her old age. And for those of you who don't know Baba, you're missing out. She's awesome. So go follow her on her channel and give her some love. I have to stretch out. I'm sitting here in my cozies. So let's get back to our original card. Take time to breathe out. So anyway, so we are in the waxing crescent. Then we will be in the first quarter, and then we'll be in the waxing gibbous, then the full moon, and then the waning gibbous. So the fact that it said gibbous moon, um, it just depends. It could be for some of you, it could be waxing, and for some of you, it could be waning. In this book, they actually have where it says the gibbous moon is about tweaking, honing, and adjusting. So it could be for some of us, um, take time to breathe out. Like take time to get away from, don't watch the news. Don't, you know what? I'll tell you something. I don't watch the news. People, I've said it forever. People.com is my guilty pleasure, especially for my birthday sister. I was like, of course, I'm like, what's going on with TNT? Travis and Taylor, are they going to be together for her birthday? I had to know. But I love it. It's like this really cute love story that's like playing out in front of everybody. Um, and also challenging us to love ourselves and to keep loving. You know, I love that she put out that song, Slut, meaning like, because people were calling her all these names saying, oh, she's jumping from one person to the next person. I'm like, no, she's trying people on for size. That's what we should do. Not everybody meets their true love right out the gate. You know what I mean? Some people have to work at it 5, 6, 7, 20,000 times. It's just different for everybody. And maybe this is a message for some of you. Um, Alder and I, we've been sparring like crazy, and thank you. You are one of our tribe members. I like had a really rough go the other night. Like the shadow came for Alder and I both. Like we've just been just between, moving out of the RV, fully moving into the cabin, cleaning the RV. Um, we decided not to buy it. We, had to bring it back to Jolly's, our landlord. And that was just like such a big, 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 ordeal between, doing that, moving in here, and we didn't get to get things accomplished here the way we wanted to. And for the first week, I was working on this and he was working. So, it's just, we were just like oil and water, man. We just were not vibing, and it just started to get really ugly. And the nicer I was, it seemed like the meaner he was to me. And it just got to this really dark place. And then I was dark and, So, if you're going through it in your love relationships, you're not alone. If you're going through it in any of your relationships right now, you're not alone. There's a lot happening. So basically, I haven't been watching the news, but I saw something from somebody else that I subscribed to. It was one of those things like I went on to post something and man, I saw it and I was like, so something really horrible happened. I think a Palestinian author or poet was murdered or something. I don't know. I couldn't get it. I couldn't because one of the last things I saw was like that they were blowing up like these really old, beautiful, and I'm just like, that's such an old energy, that third dimensional energy of, mine and killing each other for fucking stupid reasons, for greed and material things. And you know what I mean? Because it is stupid. Even if you're like an eye for an eye, I saw something recently. I think Steve Noble had wrote something about it. And he's like, it's a really old, archaic, outdated patriarchal, thinking of this, eye for an eye. You did this to me. I'm going to do this to you. And that's not how it works. And Mercury retrograde is another form of karma that just kind of keeps coming back around until we learn the lessons. And let me tell you something, I've been having lessons coming for me, like, you know, um, so I've really been taking time away from everybody and everything because I needed to just, in fact, I feel like I'm going to probably go into deeper hermit mode for the rest of December. But then I don't know. I feel like in January, they want me to do something special. I don't know what it's going to be. I'm not going to put anything out there. It's December. Well, now officially the 14th. My birthday is officially over, I guess now. Um, but, um, but yeah, I have this feeling they're going to have me do something really cool in January. And I feel like my channels are going to shift and, um, ironically, I wanted to get the bedroom done first, but now I've been feeling like I really want to work on um, the studio. So I don't know what's going to happen. The bedroom, we've had a little bit of a setback with the bedroom because I'm not sure if we want to paint it. And I'm not sure. We had a mattress and box spring that we had in storage forever, and it was really good. It was doing really good, and then it had a little break-in from critters, so we're not going to use it. And we just haven't found the right thing yet to sleep on. It's very interesting. And Alder said he feels like Spirit has given us time to like, have some time to ourselves and some time apart, sleep wise. But I've been feeling super sad because I really enjoy that. Like one of the favorite parts of my day is going to bed, with him. So we're still going to bed together. We're just like next to each other instead of like in the same bed. Um, but it's also been forcing us to be more romantic outside of that, which we are, but it's hard to explain. It's also like testing our love relationship in the bedroom. I don't want to get too personal, and that's been really interesting and exciting and sexy. So very, very interesting. So don't be afraid to try new things. Don't be afraid to do things, and just take fear out of the equation altogether. I mean, I feel like this Mercury retrograde is really going to show us something quite outstanding, that we, like basically just let it flow. Even if it feels like the whole world is crashing down around you, sometimes we need to, most of the time when things crash down all around you, it means that something really beautiful is going to grow out of that. So when something falls apart, try not to take it personally that something is happening to you. Take it as that it's happening for you. And let me tell you, I mean, I had a breakdown yesterday that was like, I mean, I just cried and cried and cried and cried and cried. And I was like, clearly, I needed to get that out. And I always feel like it's always nice to have like a really good cry around your birthday, that kind of like purge, especially for me, because my birthday's in December. And since we're on this Gregorian calendar year, for me, I feel like it's like the end of the year, it's my birthday. Also, as much as I love like the, Samhain, and October kind of kicks off the holiday season, for me, I always feel like once my birthday's done, I always feel like I can really get into Yule and Christmas and New Year, and I really love that. So I'm excited. I feel like tomorrow is going to be like the beginning of something really, really special because my birthday felt really special today, and I feel like tomorrow is going to be even better. So relish in this new moon in Sagittarius energy, relish in the Sagittarius energy in general, because soon I'm always the last week. My birthday always starts the last week of Sagittarius season, And so we will be going into Capricorn on Yule. And yeah, so, and happy birthday to our Sagittarians, Anna and Lori. Um, and if there's any other Sagittarians I left out, please, please, please say something below. I don't think I left anybody else out, but sometimes I do. And then I'm like, I'm so sorry, because I'm so tired. But anyway, so very, very interesting. So work with this gibbous moon energy. And the disseminating moon is about relaxing, accepting, and regrouping. So in a new moon, I always say, yes, you want to set your intentions, but we're just getting over the Scorpio moon. The Scorpio moon kicked the shit out of me. It was like the last day, 3044, by the way, when I looked up, that's our angel number, which is also the number 12, which is also the number 3, which is also the month we're in, December. Um, but yeah, it was really interesting. I'm a triple Sag and my moon's in Scorpio. So interesting that the last day of Scorpio season, I just like lost my noodle. And it was also the beginning of the 12/12 portal, which I think is very exciting. I was waiting to do like some big spiritual thing yesterday, and it just did not go down that way at all. And it was one of those days that like anything that could go wrong was going wrong. And I was like, Mercury's not even full in retrograde yet. 3121, by the way, for those of you who feel that, and also 3125. Yeah, it was something. So take time to breathe out. Let's see what this one is. I'm losing my light. I may have to go get my flashlight because I love being off grid. I really do. I really do. It's really cool, but it is learning. You kind of have to learn how to do it and do it with grace and gratitude, which can be hard sometimes. Oh, there it is. Oh, interesting, on page 34, which is also the number 7, which is my life path number. Not to make it all about me, but it is my birthday after all. Okay, 34, 34. Here we go. All right. So, what do I have? I did not bring a flashlight. So, let me see if I can grab this. It's about to go out, so I've got to be careful. Okay. The intensity of the full moon has abated. And what are we left with? That's what this card is asking you. It suggests that look at this cool lighting going on. What's going on? It suggests that the situation you're asking about has now peaked, and it's time for you to regroup and learn from your experiences rather than blindly forging ahead. So, what was going on last Mercury retrograde that's coming back around? Have faith that what is happening is for the best. Try to accept the way things are now and give yourself and others time out to relax. Breathe. We can't be all on. Wait, we can't be quote unquote on all the time. If you feel you've hit an obstacle or even failed in some way, now is the time to reflect on how to do things differently next time. Be honest with yourself. If you feel bad about your current situation, and then remind yourself that life goes in cycles. The attunement to this moon is I am where I am, and it's okay. The additional meaning for this card, you should know where you stand either now or very soon. That's cool. I hope that is for us because we've been going through some stuff. I'm not going to share it right now, but I will at some point. You need to take some time out for your own good. It's time for you to share your wisdom and experience with someone else. So some of us were in teacher mode, right? Also, I'm feeling for some of you where it said you need to take some time out for your own good. I heard for some of you, if that means not going to see your family this year for like the holidays or Christmas, then you just got to be brave enough not to do it. I'm going to tell you something. I have now spent several years without my family, my blood and bone, and I miss them. But at the same time, I got tired of the fakery and the fuckery. I was just like, you know what? I don't need this shit. I want to be around people that actually care about me and care about what I'm doing. Just like I wanted to give them the same respect. Sometimes we don't align. We're not on the same page, and that's okay. It says avoid falling into a slump. The teaching is the disseminating moon is the first moon phase after the explosion of energy that comes with the full moon. Also, there is going to be a full moon in a few weeks. So Christmas is, I think it's right after Christmas. I don't have my calendar right now. No matter when you pick this card, it suggests you're at a more tranquil point in the life cycle of whatever situation you're asking about. This is not the ideal time to start something new. Yeah, I'm hearing like in the new year. The disseminating moon is the time to breathe out. Give yourself some time off and think about what is past. Also, I'm hearing it's on page 35, and I feel like that means something to some of you, which is also number 8. So interesting. Okay. So work with that energy. Okay. Work with that energy for um, uh, Mercury in retrograde. Okay. Let's see. Do we have any more messages? I kind of feel like that. Yeah. I feel like we're just going to take one card per message. So let's see. So for the 12th, is this, let me see. Are there any messages in this deck for the 12-12 portal? Yeah, I kind of felt like it was that one. Okay. So are there any messages in this deck for the new moon in Sagittarius? What recommendations do you have for us? Any mantras? This is the Living by the Moon mantra, healing mantras inspired by the magic of the moon. So, what is our mantra for this new moon in Sagittarius for the collective spirit? What is our mantra? And I will take a picture of it and I'll put it in the community section. Yeah, so even with myself as well, I don't know how much I'm going to be posting in December. I'm so tired. This year really, really took a lot out of me, and I feel like I want to take a little time to just relax and breathe out for the rest of December. And I feel like I'm going to be coming back at it in January. So I suggest you do the same, stay as far away from people who are going to drag you down, any emotional vampires, any, those who have no boundaries, things like that. Just keep your distance. We've been having a situation recently where I said to my husband, I'm like, sometimes we just need to pay the piper, just leave things alone so that we can breathe out, let other people breathe out, just let it go. Anyway, so our mantra is, I attract success by being my authentic self. We have had this one before, you guys. We've had this one before. You can take a screenshot if you want as well. We've had this one before. Also, don't you think it's interesting that when we have this, you're very close to achieving your goal and working with stepping out of our comfort zone. Because Mercury in retrograde is also during this time, during the new moon, right? So this is our mantra. I attract success by being my authentic self, just by being who you are, just by being you. That's it. As silly as it sounds, curling my hair today, it was the first time I curled my hair in like a year and a half. And I felt like me. I love curling my hair. It's just, I always wanted to have naturally curly hair, but I wasn't blessed with that. And just that little thing, it made all the difference. Maybe there's something you want to do for your inner, appearance. Maybe you want to do something for your outer appearance. You want to shake things up. Maybe you want to put your insides out there to share with others. Maybe it's time to tell your story, put it in a book, do something artistic. Also, this is our imagery. This is what's on the back of this card. Each mantra has its own. And I like how it's like, and also we're talking about a sliver moon. So we're talking about crescent moon energy too, which is interesting because we were just talking about gibbous moon. So it could be for some of you, it could be the crescent moon. We got a nice star in the middle there. Something was telling me sorry, I was listening to Spirit. Something told me to flip it upside down. Ooh, also for some of you, it's like you got the whole universe in your hand. You have the power of magic. You can make magic look any way you want it to look. Step out of your comfort zone. What are these imageries? What does this imagery mean to you? So for the new moon in Sagittarius, plus, I mean, hello, I know I'm a Sagittarius, right? Sagittarius are like, hey man, like they're putting themselves out there. They're showing the world who they are. So embrace the Sagittarius energy. If you're not familiar with it, research the Sagittarius energy. It's a fire sign. So this is the time to really put yourself out there. And like I said, whenever you watch this, it's timeless. But for those of us who have the next week, really put yourself out there. I have this feeling like Spirit wants me to post a lot, like over the next few weeks, because I've been like recording so much for weeks and months on end. But then I feel like I'm going to be going more like daily kind of like energy in the new year. So I don't know if that means anything to you guys. Okay, do we have any more mantras for the new moon? Do we have any more mantras for the new moon in Sagittarius? Nope. So I will take screenshots of these cards for the disseminating moon, take time to breathe out, and also for our mantra of being our to attract success. I'm my authentic self by being my authentic self, because the truth is that is how, like, we each have our own blueprint. None of us are the same. You know, none of us are the same. How could our fingerprints all be different? I don't know. But the creator knows, right? Like the creator knows. So we do not need to try and be or emulate anyone else, because our magic lies in being ourselves. So if you're like, oh, that's weird, or people tell me I'm weird, yeah, you know why? Because they're too afraid to be their authentic self. So if someone, think of it this way, if you're being bullied, if people are making fun of you, it means you're doing something right, because it means that you're irritating their demons. It means you're irritating the parts of them that they're too afraid to look at. And you know what? We love them anyway. We want them to look at that part of themselves. Let me tell you something. The download I've been getting from Spirit nonstop is over the next 3 years, the entire planet's going to wake up. Everybody's going to have their own awakening in a different way. And those of us that are here right now, those of you who are following, these teachings that I'm putting out as well, we have something really magical to inject into the world. And we're here to lay the foundation for all of those when they wake up, that we can teach, that we can show them that it's okay to be different. We've been told that you want to be like this, you want to make money, you want to blah, blah, blah. And it's like, no, that's a bunch of malarkey bullshit. So for the 1212 portal, ooh, I'm getting an itch on my head. Do you guys ever get that? Hold on. I get that sometimes when Spirit's talking to me. Do you guys ever get that? Oh my gosh, look at that. My hair is so dark. My roots are so dark. I'm not used to having my hair curled again. Plus, I'm used to when we were in the RV, it was like so much moisture because we had to use propane heat. And now, I don't know if you can hear the fire. But anyway, I'm sitting next to the fire, to the wood stove. So much different, much more exciting, much messages do we have from Spirit for the 1212 portal? What messages do we have for the 1212 portal? From the 1212, which was yesterday, to January 1st, 2024. What do you want us to focus on? Any messages? What do you have to say, Spirit? And this is the wellness deck. It's called the Self-Care Oracle deck. It's so cute. I love this deck. Self-Care Oracle deck. Okay. Messages for the 1212 portal. No? Mm-hmm. I haven't used this deck in a minute. I feel like they're trying to tell me something. Is there something else you want me to say? Do you want me to pull any other mantras for the 1212 portal? Any numerology cards? Let me see. Let's put this one up there and this one up there. They're really coming back to the North Node. This stepping out of your comfort zone. That's also for the 1212 portal. That is a big deal, because if you step out of, basically what I'm getting from Spirit is that if we step out of our comfort zone in this 1212 portal, like so far out of our comfort zone that like it would terrify us, we will be rewarded greatly for the next coming year. Look at that. And when you could look at that, it was like, okay. Oh, bake. I watched this movie called The 12 Dates of Christmas or something with Amy Smart. Look for it on YouTube. It was so cute. It was free this month. I think it's from the Hallmark Channel or something, but super, super cute. And one of the things is that her neighbor loves to bake, and because she has to keep reading the same day over and over, she's like, well, I guess I might as well, and by the end she ends up becoming like a master baker. It's really cute, and people are like, when did you learn how to bake like this? So try and try again until you find the formula. And I'm hearing from spirit, it's also about stepping outside of your comfort zone. Maybe, when I look down, it's exactly 46, which is also the number 10 about completion. So it could even be for some of you that it's like something is baking. Oh my gosh, I'm getting all these little things, like little nudges on my head, that something is, they're cooking up something for you, or it's time for you to bake up something different. So maybe it's not actual, maybe the baking is like a metaphor for something. For some of you it really is baking. Like, maybe you've always wanted to bake and you're like, I suck at it. They're like, you don't. Watch shows, watch fun competition shows, like whatever it is. Learn how, there's so many things, so many channels. YouTube has tons of stuff too, but just keep practicing until you learn how to do it. I have an old friend of mine. She's the only person I've ever met who can bake without a recipe. To me, I can cook without a recipe all day long, but baking's like a whole other thing. I mean, you're talking about measuring, getting the right ingredients, the right amount of ingredients. It's not easy. So, anyway, very, 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 very interesting. So, I'm going to read from the book because I love this little book. It's so darn cute. Let me see. I just felt something fall. I can't pause it. Did it fall here? If I can't find it, that means they don't. Oh, it's literally right in front of me. I'm like, it's a good thing. My hair is just feeling kind of weird. Sorry. When you curl your hair a certain way, and then if you don't let it fall back the way it was, it feels wrong. That's what it feels like. I don't know what they're having me do. I have a feeling they're having me grow it out, not because of my natural color. I feel like they're going to have me do a color, but it's going to be like an ombre kind of thing. So I'm kind of excited to see how that goes. Where she stops, nobody knows. Okay, so onward and upward. What number is it? Oh, 31, which is 13 backwards. Oh my gosh, I love it. It mirrors it, right? So are you having some issues? Are you having things being mirrored back to you? Very interesting. And maybe during this 12/12 portal, you're going to, and Mercury retrograde and this new moon in Sagittarius, you're going to be having things that are going to start mirroring back to you, especially if it's something that you don't like about somebody else. Usually that means it's something about yourself that you're working on, or that you need to work on, um, you know, to help you heal. I'm trying to get Walter out of there. Okay, so the interpretation is all ingredients are laid out in their place. There's no stress in this kitchen, just a favorite recipe being whipped up. Nothing quite warms up a home like the smell of something baking in the oven. And I just felt like baking in the oven feels like a pregnancy. When I looked up, it was 4913. 49 is 13, so that's interesting, which is also the number of the goddess. Um, so I feel like for some of you, like literally, like there's going to be a bun in the oven, or you do have a bun in the oven and you haven't told anybody yet that you're pregnant. That's very interesting. And it could even be like an idea. Um, it also says, and there's nothing as comforting as a still warm baked good. The practice of this card is we all deserve a little sweet treat from time to time, and baking for yourself is a great stress reliever. For those who are skeptical or kitchen phobic, you must trust the process. Follow a few ground rules and you'll do fine and reduce any cooking anxiety. first, read the recipe all the way through 3 times before you make any moves. That's very true. Baking is not the time to wing it in the kitchen unless you're someone like my friend, right? And even if you want to, it's like do what feels right for you. Line up all of your ingredients and then measure them out carefully in separate bowls. Don't forget to preheat the oven, and the rest is a cinch. While you're waiting for the sweets to bake, take a few moments on the couch to yourself before cleaning up. The mess can wait. Oh, that's cute. So interesting how interesting for this particular, what I was saying about the baking thing. Yeah, I also feel like it is that I attract success by being my authentic self. I feel like for some of you, like yeah, like you're in the you're in the metaphorical kitchen of putting something together. So I'm excited for you guys to share with me what that's going to be. Ooh, interesting. This card is from the mantra deck. Look at that. It literally just appeared like out of nowhere. The deck is over here with these other cards, and it just landed here. So I'm going to read this mantra. So this is our mantra for the 1212 portal. I am beginning an exciting new path of self-discovery. You guys, oh, I love this. I'm gonna put all of these in there. Don't worry. That is so beautiful. Okay. Also, my eyes kept going to the skincare. That's the next card, which is 32. So it could be for some of you, it's time to get very serious about your skincare regimen and taking care of yourself. I know living off grid, I got really lazy, and I've been taking care of my skin again, and it just feels so good. Okay, so do we have any more cards or any more from the self-care oracle? Do we have any more self-care for the or messages from the 1212 portal? Do we have any moonology? Let me put this together. Sorry. Do we have any from the modology for the 1212 portal? Okay, this one just shot out. Okay, expect powerful change. Yes, positive thinking. Positive thinking. That's what I'm saying. This is the thing that is like kind of going to separate, you know, I know that it sounds sexist, but the old saying, separate the men from the boys. It's like, that's kind of what it's like that mentality. It's going to separate us from them. Not that we're meant to be separated or segregated. It's not about that. It's about that we can no longer play in this third dimensional energy or get riled up or angry or feed into this shadow. It's going to happen. No one's perfect, but when it happens, you know what? Let yourself ride through it. Cry, scream, yell scream to a pillow, yell outside, whatever you got to do. Um, and then work through it, dust yourself off, pick yourself back up, and start again. And I'm telling you from personal experience, I keep doing it too. And every time I fall down, I get back up, and I fall back down, and I get back up. I'm not going to let this, either this is our loving money pit. By the way, it's the new moon eclipse. Is that card? Expect powerful change. Either we are really in this kind of money pit, and we're only going to stay here until whenever, or it's spirit really pushing us to say, how bad do you want this? How far are you willing to go? What's the dream? How can you ask for help? you know, because the one thing I will kind of clue you in on is that we signed an agreement to go until August 2024, and then we were going to decide whether or not we wanted to buy it. But plans have changed for our landlord, and so they really want to be moved out of state by March. So it's been really, really interesting. So I don't know, but I have to believe in magic and miracles, because if this is where we're supposed to be, then we will find a way to buy it. And if not, then we will move on to somewhere else. And then this will be a great place that cradled us for the winter and, helped us to move forward. I've already started purging things, which has been really great. I have like this massive pile of stuff that I'm donating to our local thrift store that helps our homeless population in the area. So I'm very, very excited about that. Some things I just bought. Some things I'm like, what? Like, why? But it's okay, right? Because they're just things. And I've been relearning again about attachment, not having attachment to outcomes, not having attachment to, is this going to be, is this not? I mean, trust me, I've been up and down the gamut because in the last month, we've been actually just the last year in general has just been insane. But interesting that 2023 is a 7 year, and I just turned 52, which is a 7 year. But they say that you are actually, when you're born, you're zero. You don't turn 1 years old until you're 365 days old and you're one. And it's funny because I was born in 1971. And so I always kind of go by things like I always kind of bring a number off. But I remember one time I worked with this Native American shaman and they told me, yes, but your year is the year that you're working on that year. And I'm like, what do you mean? So technically, I was working in my 52nd year. I was 51, but I was working towards my 50, like towards turning 52. So now I'm at 7. Now I'm going into 2024, which is a number 8, which is infinity. So many wonderful things. Look up angel number 8. Look up numerology number 8. It's just like all the wonderful rewards after the hardship of 7. It's really, really great. There's so many great things. The balance, because 4 times 4 is 8. 4 is all about balance. So it's a really, really wonderful number. And I thought that's so interesting. So I'm going towards my 53rd year, which is the number 8. And I do feel like 2024 is going to be really magical for a lot of us. I think those of us who are awake and are really going towards our goals, our dreams, our purpose, what we were brought here to do, which is what all of these cards told us today, um, and expecting powerful change, not hoping for powerful change, expecting it to happen, living in the law of attraction, living in is staying in the positive. And like I said, you're going to have days that are going to suck. You're going to have, moments. Do you know the day that we were moving, our fucking car broke down? The starter went out on the day we were moving. The starter went out. Out of all the things on the car that could break the starter, I was like, I'm like, we're not supposed to move in there. This is an omen. You know what I mean? Like, but at the same time, it's like we're being tested right now. And one of our tribe members, Shanna, I remember years ago, Shanna, she was the white buffalo. She was my teacher, but I couldn't see it at the time. I mean, I saw it, but at the same time, I was in my ego and I didn't want to hear that because I didn't want to think about being tested and all that. Because to me, I was like, no, my loving, creator isn't like that, blah, blah, blah. But the truth is, it is, because this is our free will. This is where our free will is being tested. Are you going to go to the shadow and, you know, take things out on people, or, you know what I mean? Or are you going to go to the light and be like, you know what? They didn't mean that, or even if they did mean it, it has nothing to do with me. You know what I mean? Not taking things personally. There's a lot of things for us to continue working on in the coming year in 2024. But the biggest part is accepting the positive energy, expecting powerful change, expecting the positive, expecting the happiness, and knowing that life happens. I mean, I was having this moment with spirit, and they were like, well, why are you immune to why are you immune to problems or things happening? And I'm like, what? And then like I heard this song and it was like, that's life. Like all these songs were playing and it was just like, that's just life. Like shit happens. This other Bruce Springsteen song came on and it was the same thing. It was just like, sometimes, you're good, sometimes you're not, sometimes, blah, blah, blah. And sometimes it all happens at the same time. Right? We were moving into our house. We were so excited, but on the same day we were having something awesome happen, our fucking car broke down. And my husband said he had a feeling something was going on and he wasn't sure if it was the battery or whatever, but that was the day. And it changed certain things, but but the way it all went down was all meant to go down. So, even if you can't understand in the minute, in the moment, in the hour, in the second why something is happening, know that it's not there to punish you. It's there to teach you something, or it's there to give you a gift that if you look through all of whatever, the bullshit, whatever words you want to use, there is a gift there. There's a gem, there's a pearl, right? It's not just gritty sand in that beautiful oyster. Inside that sand becomes a beautiful pearl, a one of a kind pearl. So think of yourself as a one of a kind pearl, and we need all of your awesomeness, all of your essence to bring this planet back to the light. There is no fucking way. See, like even with this right here, this is what the darkness wants us to, it just took over. We love our shadow. We must love our shadow. We must love the parts of us that are shitty, the petty parts, the ego, you know what I mean? But then we forgive it. Because when we forgive the shadow, when we forgive that side of us, that's when we can really love it and be in gratitude for the lessons that it taught us. And that when it starts to rear its little ugly head, that we say, yeah, I see you coming there. I love you, but not today. You know what I mean? Not today, Satan. So this is what the 1% or like the part of the world that wants to control the ego, the greed, all that other shit. They think this is happening, but what's really happening is the light's gonna come through, because you know what, love always wins. I saw that from a Native American elder recently, and they said, just remember that when you're having bad days or you see things about wars and famine and rape and slavery and all this, they're like, remember that love always wins. It will always win, because the universe is love. The universal force of energy is love. The darkness was created to teach us. Earth is a learning, it's a teaching place for our souls to expand beyond anything that we could ever have expanded into if we didn't have this experience. So Earth may seem like a torturous, horrible place sometimes. Trust me, I know. I've been there. I still have to have those days. But then I remember the beauty and the magic and how cool it is. So remember, each day, say, I believe in magic and miracles. Start saying mantras. Talk yourself to sleep. Last night, when everything broke down, I'm not kidding you. The water stopped working again. The dryer broke. I had literally had clothes like in the washer, like just stuck in the dirty water, but we had no water to, it was like one of those things. And I cried. My husband and I, we just like worked through it. And in the end, when it was all said and done, we were laughing, and because I was like, why does my birthday always suck? I'm like, seriously, I go, I feel like every year my birthday sucks. I go, I feel like I've had like a handful of good birthdays. Most of them, it's been whatever. And then all of a sudden, it was the end of the night. All there was sleeping. Bubba was sleeping. The house was quiet. I blew out all the candles, and all I could see through the all the windows, because we have 20-foot ceilings, and all I could see through the windows were stars. And I knew it was going to be a clear day, even though it was supposed to be rainy and shitty on my birthday today. I was like, oh my gosh. And I like I got up and I opened the door, and I just like looked at all the stars, and I thanked our star family. I thanked Spirit. Oh, some of the candles are going out. I'm about to be done too. And oh, look at that. And it was so magical. And I talked myself to sleep, and I said, I'm going to have the best birthday ever. This is the best birthday I've ever had, because it was. I'm like, look at my view. Look at every birthday I've wanted to have a vacation like this, where I was sitting in front of a fire with my husband and my sweet familiar, where I'm looking at the stars over this beautiful body of water. And I thought, I fucking made it, man. And even if I'm here a day, a week, a month, 6 months, 6 years, a lifetime, I was like, I made it. It took us 8.5 years, but we made our dreams come true. And I wouldn't change a second. And I realized, I'm like, it is already the best birthday I ever had, because I achieved my goals and I stuck by it. So no matter what happens after this, I did it. And you will too. And if you have already, please comment below, because we need each other. Tell us what you're manifesting right now. Talk it into being. Cheer each other on, because that's what we're here to do. is to cheer each other on. All right, you guys, those are our messages. Look out for that pick a reading. I don't know when it's going to be, but until next time, I love you so much. Spirit loves you so much. Take time for yourself during this 12/12 portal, this new moon in Sagittarius, and Mercury in retrograde. Until next time, I love you so much. Take good care of yourself and each other. Blessed be. Oh.